Class of 2021, you may be seated. Good morning. What a beautiful day. I'm Kevin Jones, and I'm the proud principal of these fine men and women. How we doing, Class of 21? Bad. Let's try that again. How we doing, Class of 21? All right, cool. Before I get going, let me slide on these cool shades that the Viking Athletic Association bought for all the student athletes. They're not my swag, they're not my style, but I'll wear them for today. There goes my speech. Thank you. I'm just really proud of the kids this year. I'm just really proud of our district, but I want to make sure that this celebration is not about the C word, COVID. Or I don't want it to be about the P word, pandemic. This celebration's about you. As an honor and a tradition, I've placed a book underneath each one of your chairs. I would like you to grab it right now. Check it out. I don't have time to read the book, and as Jackie would say, I probably don't know how to read. But what this book is about, it's honestly about never quitting. I Googled the book based on the year that we had. Arlo, who is the main character, is trying to wave his magic wand. I really think our district did not have to wave a magic wand this year. The students persevered, and the magic wand worked. I am a person all about endings, and today is an ending. If you all turn to the very last page, the best quote about the class of 2020 says, "If you persist and never quit, there's nothing you can't do. You deserve a special star for seeing it through. Let me find my cauldron and wand for you." Like I said, we did not need a magic wand, but this class was based on grit, determination, and hard work. And there's a lot of people that helped them. Today's a beautiful day, and I have to thank the fantastic tech crew that put things together, the custodian crew that allowed us to be in this situation, our local and school nurses that allowed us to be in this situation where we can have multiple people at our graduation. Of course, we have the wonderful cooks at our school, our Board of Education, last but not least, our wonderful staff and community. Yeah, round of applause, I'll take that. But lastly, all of your parents and family members that helped these students through these difficult times. We all know that they were at home. Someone had to push them, ask them about their homework. I'm proud of you as well. Today's a special day for Center, and I hope I can see you in 10 years and hear your stories. Even you, Jackie. I have the pleasure to introduce our class 2021 Salutatorian, Michaela Ariano.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michaela Ariano, and I'm your senior class Valedictorian. First off, I would like to congratulate the families that are here to support us, the friends that are here to cheer us on, as well as the teachers and administrators who after 4 years, or in Mr. Vihil's case, 6 years, are finally getting rid of us. But most importantly, I would like to congratulate the class of 2021. We have counted down the months, weeks, days, hours, and minutes down to this very day. In what feels like a short yet long time, we have made so many memories. Forever we will remember that one basketball game, that one football game, someone's laugh and someone's smile. Let's not forget all of the embarrassing times as well. Like that one time I managed to fall almost face first out of the back of the short bus at a knowledgeable meet in front of not only my fellow awesome Center nerds, but at least 2 other schools. Graduating from Center High School means that we will be left on our own to conquer the real world. Graduating means using your education to be successful. I do not mean being able to recall the 13th president or the derivative of 4x to the fourth power. This is not the education that will really help us change the world. This guy named Albert Einstein once said, "Education is what remains after one has forgotten everything they learned in school." After so many years at Center High School, we have learned how to learn and not so much what to think, but how to think. And that is the true measure of our Center High School education. One thing I urge you all to do is to dream and to dare. Don't be afraid to fail, as one of my favorite quotes by Samuel Beckett says, "Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better." That right there is simply life. All trial and error. Throughout high school, it has always been fairly easy for us to feel hate and anger towards each other, but the hard part was actually loving, understanding, and forgiving each other. Love, understanding, and forgiveness is how we survived the last 4 years. Our memories and experiences didn't bond us together. They didn't make us friends. Our memories and experiences made us a family. Now I would like to share a simple 2-word phrase with all of you. Hurry up. We have heard this phrase from others, but 99% of the time we have said it to ourselves. This particular urge to hurry up is set by the goals we make for ourselves, things we want to achieve, things to cross off our endless list of things to accomplish. I want you to hear me out. Cherish the sound of your best friend's laughter. Pursue the passion you have been putting off for the right moment, because as cliche as it sounds, the right moment will never present itself. So slow down, explore, change your mind and change it again, fall in love, make mistakes, but most importantly, grow. Before I close, I would like to thank a few people. I would like to thank the women who have been a big part of my life. My stepmom, because she pushed me further than I ever thought I was capable of going. My mom, because she taught me the importance of strength and individuality. To the other women in my life, because you taught me not only how empowering it is to be a woman, but how much more empowering it is to be an independent woman. I would especially like to thank my Nana, who couldn't be here with us today. I would like to thank her for teaching me the importance of unconditional love and selflessness. Thank you to all the men who have been a big part of my life, especially my dad, because he has never left my side for any reason and has always made sure that I would be okay on my own. Thank you to my sisters, who undoubtedly hype me up and boost my confidence every chance they get. Thank you to my brother for always reassuring me it's okay to not always be okay, but for also making sure I got back up. Thank you to my friends who have told me time and time again that I'm really not a goofball, it's just me being me and there is nothing wrong with that. Lastly, I would like to thank the teachers, administrators, mentors, and coaches for always being there for us, pushing us, for meeting us halfway and getting us here today. Class of 2021, we did it. We survived the last 4 years, and you all should be proud because it was a lot of work. We did our best. Now it's just the rest of our lives. Now I would like to introduce our senior class valedictorian, Jessie Bencomo.
Hello. What a year it has been. I'm going to be honest, I don't really have that much to say. I want to start off by congratulating the class of 2021 on this amazing accomplishment. I am so proud of all of us for persevering through what has probably been one of the most challenging school years we've ever had. I would like to also thank the staff and teachers for all their hard work this school year. I'm sure it was hard to have to figure out how to make sure students are healthy and at the same time being properly educated during a pandemic. Thank you for your constant dedication to your students. I would also like to personally thank Ashley Welsh. She was my mentor this year and she was an amazing help to me. She made virtual learning easier for me and gave me advice on how to navigate through life and my future. Also, I would like to thank Mrs. Elson. She was also a big help to me and always kept me on top of everything. Lastly, I would like to thank my family and friends for always supporting me and motivating me to be successful not only in school but in life as well. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2021 on this major milestone. I wish you all joy, peace, love, and abundance of blessings in your future. It is my pleasure now to introduce our guest commencement speaker, Mr. Hagan.
All right, you guys ready for this? Yep. All right. So I'll apologize in advance. I tried writing this speech 100 different ways, and in the end, I really felt that I just had to be myself. So what I'm going to try to do is just imagine or pretend that it's just us in the classroom again, and that it's just us, just like old times, which means I might get fired by the end of this speech. And I'm also realizing that I didn't put enough sunscreen on my head, so that's a thing too. When Natalia first asked me to be the speaker for your graduation, I knew two things. First, I knew that you guys were pretty desperate if you're asking me. And second, I know that you guys have just a little bit of crazy inside you, which I like. And after all, having taught you during your most awkward and vulnerable years, I've got a ton of dirt on you. So we're going to kick things off by just taking a little trip down memory lane. Alexis Trujillo, for example, had more braces in middle school than any child I had ever seen. Some of you might not know this, but she actually had braces on the front, side, and back of her teeth. And we couldn't have a magnet within 100 feet of the middle school, or it would have taken her head right off. Then, of course, there's Natalia, who tried her best on several occasions to make me a social media superstar. But, as I tried to tell her, I don't really have the charisma, personality, or face to be a good influencer. Plus, it was on Vine. You guys remember Vine, right? That's how long ago. But, Natalia, I'm actually pretty good on TikTok. So, if you put together a little dance routine sometime, I'd love to help you get some followers. I would ask you guys if you remember Jasmine Valadez in middle school, but you really don't have to because she's literally the exact same size as she was in 7th grade. And I've never seen a kid go through 4 years of high school and not grow an inch, but congratulations. Now let's not forget about Jackie and Carlos. I've got 4 years worth of therapy bills that I'm going to need help paying once you guys graduate from college, okay? The trauma counseling is not cheap. And in truth, it takes a special kind of person to fight me to the bitter end. And I've actually got a lot of respect for you guys for doing that. And out of everybody here, Carlos and Jackie, you guys remind me the most of myself when I was your age. So I'm sure you're thrilled with that comparison. And what about Jesus? Where you at, Jesus? Where you at, Chewy? Oh, there he is. Okay, perfect. All right, now I'll never forget that one time on an ICAP day when we were discussing our future career goals, the ones we wanted to pursue once we graduated. Here you guys are. When it was Jesus's turn to share, he said that he wanted to own a truck. Now, I explained to him that that was a great goal and that I too wanted to own a truck. It's a great goal. However, I continued and I explained to Jesus, I was like, okay, so what job or profession are you going to do in order to buy the truck? And he looked at me with a completely straight face and he said, Hagan, I just told you I want to own a truck. And so I'll never forget this. Next to his name on the ICAP sheet where it said career goals, I wrote down wants to own a truck. So congratulations. Okay, so last one. Some of you have developed some really strange nicknames over the years, like Blonde, Chewy, and Ka. Okay, but one nickname in particular stands out among them, Snakes. So I don't know how or why you got that nickname. It'll always be a beautiful mystery to me. However, I remember one year during state testing for science, I accidentally switched Diego's test booklet with the other Diego's test booklet while handing them out after break. And basically I had to go back and rewrite all of Diego's answers in a new booklet. Lo and behold, there was a question about snakes on that test, and he missed it. After I finished rewriting all the answers, I went to Mr. Murillo and I said, Luis, I think we have a problem. The kid named Snakes doesn't know anything about snakes, so we might need to hire a new science teacher. What struck me the most about recalling all of these memories more than anything is that I didn't realize how much I'm going to miss you guys. And I know what some of you guys are thinking right now. Even Michaela? And the answer is yes, even Michaela. I'm sure you realize this by now, but it can be difficult to know where to begin sometimes. For you graduates, it may be difficult to know where to begin on this new journey you're about to embark on. And for you parents, it may be difficult to begin letting go of your kids and allowing them the space and freedom to build their own lives. And for me, it's difficult to know how to begin this commencement speech in earnest. Honestly, what advice can I offer to a group of young people who have just experienced one of the greatest disruptions to their lives in modern times? The pandemic has affected every aspect of our way of life, from our mental health to our finances to the way we interact with each other on a daily basis. Many of you have experienced stress, anxiety, and depression over the course of this last year. Some of you have probably been weighed down by financial hardships. Others have probably struggled with remote learning, having your athletics canceled, then restarted, then rescheduled, and canceled again. Your normal rites of passage like homecoming and prom were not normal at all, especially considering you were only allowed to have 10 people at a house party at one time. And it was probably really weird trying to kiss somebody with a mask on. That's not normal at all. I don't care what Hebron says. But it hasn't only been the pandemic that's had a dramatic impact on your lives. Over the last several years, we've witnessed a growing wave of racial injustice sweep across this country. We watched as 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery was shot down in the streets of a South Georgia suburb by a retired law enforcement officer and his son, both white. In Louisville, Kentucky, Breonna Taylor was gunned down in her home in the middle of the night by a group of white officers who were executing an illegal raid on her home. She was shot 5 times and medical aid was not rendered to her for over 20 minutes. Elijah McClain, right here in Colorado, was stopped on his way home from a gas station after buying some iced tea and choked to death by a white officer. Then the whole world watched in horror as George Floyd was murdered by a white police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. For 9 minutes and 29 seconds, the officer held his knee on Floyd's neck as he pleaded for air and cried out, "I can't breathe." Images of protest from across the globe filled our screens, unlike anything we've seen since the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s. So then, surely you would think that a global pandemic that's taken the lives of nearly 3.5 million people and a global human rights movement of epic proportions would be enough drama for 2020 and 2021, right? I suppose not, because on January 6th of this year, you had to witness a political insurrection. For the first time in our country's 244-year history, blood was spilled on the steps of our Capitol building, at the very citadel of our democracy. That democracy which we hold to be our most sacred American value was forever stained when hundreds of Donald Trump supporters stormed the Capitol during the certification of Electoral College votes. 5 American citizens lost their life on that day. Surely at some point you must have been thinking to yourself, man, did I pick the wrong time to become a senior? But I'll say this, Of any class in the history of classes, the class of 2021 deserves an enormous and heartfelt congratulations. The parents of the class of 2021 truly deserve a legendary congratulations. The teachers, the principals, and the school staff members who helped get you to this day deserve a congratulations. Yes, it's difficult to know how to begin sometimes. But if you begin with the end in mind, you will never lose your way. So now I'm going to challenge you to do just that. Begin your life today with the end in mind. Because in the end, some things will matter a great deal, and other things won't matter at all. In the end, no one will remember how much money you made, what your job title was, or how many degrees you had. In the end, no one will remember how fancy your clothes were, what kind of car you drove, or how many likes you got on Instagram. So what will people remember about you in the end? They'll remember that you offered them a kind word when they were down, that you were generous even though you yourself did not have much to give. They'll remember that you showed them love when no one else cared about them, that you were patient and understanding during difficult and stressful times. They'll remember that you were honest, that you looked after those who were less fortunate than yourself. They'll remember that you never wavered from these basic principles of human decency. They'll remember that you extended them forgiveness even when they didn't deserve it. Those will be the only things that matter in the end. And if you begin your life today with those principles embedded in your heart, you won't have any regrets. These are the values that your parents and family have instilled in you since the day you were born. Over the last 4 years here at high school, it may have felt like all we care about teaching you is how to read, write, interpret history, and perform science. But in reality, all along, we were just trying to teach you first and foremost how to be good people through both our words and our actions. In truth, I was terrified of speaking with you guys today. Not because I was scared to get up here in front of all these people and talk, but because I knew in writing this speech I would be forced to reflect back on my own life and my own decisions. And if I were going to give you anything meaningful, anything real to take with you on this day, I was going to have to take a critical look at how I've lived and the decisions I've made. What I've discovered was simple, yet profound. You see, every time I made a decision while I was thinking about myself, it ended in regret. And every time I made a decision while I was thinking about others, it ended in hope. That's what the class of 2021 represents to all of us. That's what this day means to us, the promise of hope. Clearly, us old people haven't left the world a better place than when we got to it. My generation and the generations that came before me have lived selfishly. And now you can see what the world looks like when we choose to live that way. But the class of 2021 can change the course and direction that we're headed in by living for one another, by caring for strangers as if they were your own family. That's what makes this next part so tough. It's difficult to know where to begin when you're trying to say goodbye to a group of kids you've watched grow up over the last 7 years. A group of kids who've become just as important to you as your own family. But I'll begin with the end in mind, knowing that we'll see each other again when the seeds of your imagination have blossomed into the reality of tomorrow, and you've worked together to make this world a better place. Thank you, and God bless.
Get into it. everyone. The class of 2021 has put together a slideshow to honor the amazing students of the class of 2021. So at this moment, I ask you guys to pull out your cell phones and open up your camera app, and you will scan the QR code on the very back, and it should open a link to our video. If you're having trouble with this, you can also go to the Center School's Facebook page where it will be live streamed.